like to give a quick demo to show how APEX Navigator deploys this in 4 easy steps and automates it and stands it up for you in your AWS environment. Okay, we're back in the APEX console, and under Storage, Cloud Deployments, we'll click on Manage Cloud Deployments. This will bring us up to a table that would display all of our deployed systems. We don't have any just yet, so we're going to deploy a system. We'll click Deploy System. Here is step 1 of 4, where we need to specify the product, cloud, and region we wish to deploy. Right now, we just released an APEX block storage for AWS with Navigator. So that is our product. We'll select that. We'll select the version 4.5.1, and we'll choose a region, which we're only available in the US at this moment. Step 2 is to connect that cloud account. We walked through this in the previous demo of what this looks like to get this added to APEX Navigator. And so we'll just select the one we readied for this deployment. Step 3 gets into the deployment configuration. So these are all the choices that we have with our deployment, and Krithika touched on a lot of these in her presentation, but we'll provide a deployment name. We also will choose our performance tier, which is either balanced or performance optimized. We'll select our minimum usable capacity and minimum IOPS, and these choices change what resources will get deployed into your AWS account to support that. We have the select your availability level, either single AZ or multi-AZ. And we also have the choice to deploy to an existing VPC that we created, or we've already configured and set up, or to create a new VPC. So we'll go ahead and select create a new VPC and let APEX Navigator stand that up for us. We'll put in our IP ranges. And the third configuration item is to name your key pair. So this is setting up an SSH access into the storage instances running in AWS, and that key will get stored in your AWS Secret Manager for you to access later. I'll continue to step 4, where we will review the configuration and move ahead with the deployment. We'll see here that the licensing, we have a free 90-day evaluation license once we stand this up. And it'll also show you the AWS resources that are going to be deployed into your account, so you can go use the pricing calculator to see what this means to you and your company. There's also a few agreements, namely about we're standing up resources in your AWS account, and this is going to incur some cost for you.
All right. But that's cost. That's additional cost on top of the cost of Navigator.
Sorry, you would pay, we're giving a free 90-day evaluation license to run the storage in AWS, and then the costs will be the AWS resources that they incur in your account.
And that's a cost I'll have. In addition, after 90 days, I'll pay for Navigator. And I also have the cost in AWS for the extra storage.
Yes.
Got it.
And I'll look to Krithika and Tish make sure that was correct. All right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, customer is responsible for the underlying infrastructure, the AWS infrastructure.
Yep, and so once we've kicked off the deployment, we can actually view its progress directly from APEX Navigator. And so if we browse to our running job.
You just confused me. There's APEX, Dell APEX storage.
Yeah, block storage.
Block storage. I'm paying APEX block storage.
Yep.
And I pay that to Dell. The AWS billing for the underlying infrastructure I'm going to get through AWS. And then if I have Navigator, then that's another deployment that we're not looking at right now.
So APEX Navigator is running in APEX centrally available to you, and so there's no. I guess you don't need to pay, or you don't deploy Navigator.
Right.
You're paying for the storage that you deploy.
So adding to Chad's comment, right? So APEX Navigator is the SaaS console.
Yes.
Right? So you don't pay for any so you pay for the APEX Navigator software, you pay for the APEX block storage software, and you still need the underlying hardware, right? That is owned by Amazon, or Azure, and
Yep.
you will pay them. So the way you can pay is you can pay for the entire package to Amazon or Azure, and we will actually transact with the hyperscalers. Or you could go pay Amazon for the underlying AWS infrastructure. You could come to Dell and pay for the APEX Navigator and APEX Block Storage software.
Am I looking at APEX Block Storage, or am I looking at Navigator right now?
You're looking at Navigator.
Navigator.
Okay, sorry, I got lost there.
Oh, yes, yes.
Thank you.
Apologies for not watching.
No, I'm sure it was me. I'm sure it was me. Just like, okay, whatever.
Yes, so this is APEX Navigator that we're looking at, and we're looking at the jobs running that's deploying the APEX block storage system in AWS. And so I'll just pause here. You can see these are the steps to deployment. So we pre-validate that the environment is ready, and we can move ahead with the deployment before standing everything up.
Before you move ahead with that, is any of this available on the AWS Marketplace
It
to
is.
purchase or subscription?
It is currently.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I can pay one bill,
exactly.
lump sum, so I never see that I'm paying extra for each one. I'm just
Exactly. You can pay for the whole thing to Amazon. Yeah.
When you show me the pricing, are you showing me the Navigator, storage, and AWS costs? Or are you just showing me the Dell pricing?
On that page, where he was deploying, it was initiating a 90-day trial. So the costs that were shown on that deployment page were particularly only for AWS resources.
So you're seeing all of it, but you're not seeing the cost after 90 days. You're only seeing AWS. The cost after 90 days is not being displayed.
And within those 90-day period, then
Got it.
you purchase APEX Block and APEX Navigator to continue.
Okay, thank you.
So let the deployment continue. And we can jump over to AWS to see these instances being stood up. And we elected to create a new VPC, so I'll just jump into AWS's view of that VPC being created. If we click in, we'll see that it's configured with the details that I entered into Navigator. The step is deploying the Secure Connect Gateway, SCG, which enables telemetry from from the APEX block storage back to Cloud IQ. And just gonna, and now it's deploying the storage, and we'll fast forward this. This job takes roughly around 2 hours to complete. And so this is with an automated deployment. And you can see that with these 4 steps and some time, it'll set up and stand up all the storage for you to use, which takes a lot of ease off doing it manually and setting all this up. So